leadership in some cases. What I know about the CWA is that your endorsement is not just a paper endorsement. It's not just a press release endorsement. That we're going to have thousands of people on the ground, knocking on doors, making phone calls, and helping us as we do what needs to be done in this country, and that is create a political revolution.
Welcome back to Hardball. That was Democratic presidential candidate and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders receiving the endorsement from the Communication Workers of America, one of the largest labor unions in the country, earlier today. One of the CWA is 700,000 members strong who represent workers in the telecom, media, and airline industries. It's Sanders' third big labor endorsement. But it does pale behind former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, who has received 18 national labor endorsements, according to her campaign. Joining me right now is the president of the Communication Workers of America, Chris Shelton. Mr. President, thanks for joining us, and thank you for putting the show on and all the other things that the communication workers do, engineers who work here at NBC and MS, and NBC especially. Anyway, let me ask you about this. Why why Bernie Sanders with Hillary Clinton leading so far?
We did a exhaustive poll of our members since September, and we had tens of thousands of our members vote in that poll, and they voted for Bernie Sanders. They voted, first of all, whether we should endorse or not, and then they chose Bernie Sanders as the person that we should endorse.
Give me the voice of the average member of the CWA and what he would say if he were here. Why Bernie?
Why Bernie? Because he's the guy that we think is going to stand up for the middle class, going to stand up for working people in this country better than any other candidate.
Now, let me ask you, do you think he's got a prayer?
I think he does. I think that with our help and with the help of the American people, and when you look at his town hall meetings, you see thousands of people coming out to support him. It looks to me like he's got more than a shot.
Okay, he's a progressive. He's a social. In Europe, they say social democrat. Here we say Democrat. Is he more progressive than Hillary?
I don't know if he's more progressive than Hillary, but his stance on working people is certainly what we want to hear and what most unions, I believe, want to hear, even though a lot of unions are backing Hillary. But, we thought we needed somebody who was not ready for politics as usual, and that happens to be Bernie Sanders.
I love your activity here. Thanks so much, Mr. President. Chris Shelton of the CWA. A CWA endorsement wasn't the only big announcement from the Sanders campaign today. The Vermont Senators also received the endorsement from a 1 million member liberal organizing group, Democracy for America. Aides to Sanders also say he has amassed more than 2 million contributions, and 2 million people contributing. And the Washington Post reports today that they expect to outpace President Obama's 2012 re-election effort on that count by the end of the year. More contributors to Bernie than there were to Obama. So heading into Saturday's Democratic debate up in Manchester, New Hampshire, is this Democratic race really over, or is it just beginning? Jay Newton Small is a correspondent with Time Magazine. You've just done a new edition, a new segment on Hillary Clinton. Some people say, where did I read it today? She's winning, but it doesn't feel like she's winning. How would you assess that statement?
I think that they don't want her to feel like she's winning right now. Her own campaign wants this to feel like it's an actual race, that she's earning their votes, and that it's not in march to inevitability. So to them, I don't think it's a bad thing that Bernie is gaining a little bit of steam. I think it's really bad if they lose Iowa, lose New Hampshire, and then we're going into South Carolina. But a contest is a good thing, and it excites Democrats in the base, and they're not that worried, because if you look at polls, Hillary is still very popular amongst Democrats. So it's not a kind of anti-establishment thing here. It's just a healthy debate that they're having, and that they're going to continue to have.
Do you think Hillary Clinton is exposing herself to real give and take in the interviews that she's chosen to give? I watched a lot of they're doing. I understand why they do this, but I'm not sure it's the way to get a candidate ready for a big fight, and it's going to be a close general election. I remember George Bush Sr. He went out and fought. He went out and fought with Dan Rather. He went out and found media people that were going to take him on. And he looked stronger because that's like getting ready for a big bat. You get into sparring partner situations. Hillary Clinton doesn't seem like she wants to do that. She wants to not do that. Your thoughts?
Well, are you saying that Bernie isn't a good enough debate partner for her coming in tonight in the debate this weekend?
Yeah.
Well, it's true that she has not had any really tough interviews. A lot of the interviews have been pretty soft. They do maybe one round of questions a week from journalists and reporters that travel with her on the campaign trail. So it isn't that tooth and nail, but at the same time, they're kind of more than happy to lay back and let the Republicans do their thing, let them fight it out, and sort of see where she's left standing. But you're right, the danger is that then she goes to the general election very soft, very weak, with a very big underbelly.
I think she looked great in that first debate. Not so good in the second debate. I think it's a thing you have to learn. It's like playing the piano or anything else you're doing, like playing baseball. You know, before every baseball game, they go out and practice for an hour or so. They actually practice every night before the game. These are pros. They shoot baskets in the NBA before the game. Pros have to go practice every night. You got to learn this game, and you got to keep practicing it. You can't lay back and say, I'll win the next game because I'm great. Anyway, thank you, Jay Newton Small. That's my lesson for tonight. Anyway, a reminder, let me